Hi there, my name's Erica and I'm going to show you some therapeutic yoga routines that are really great for anyone who's standing on their feet during the day or is wearing shoes all day long, especially uncomfortable shoes. A lot of our formal footwear is not so good for our feet, so we're going to give our feet some extra attention. And we're going to start on the floor, just in a comfortable cross-legged position, and we'll bring one foot up onto the other knee. If it's really uncomfortable to bring your foot up, you can always leave it on the floor or put it on a block. That can be helpful. And with the opposite hand, we're just going to string our fingers in between our toes. At first, you might only be able to get the fingertips or a little bit in between the toes, but eventually you might be able to work the fingers down a little bit further, maybe all the way down to the knuckles. This will really help spread the toes. And then squeezing the fingers into the toes. Taking a breath. And relaxing the fingers and squeezing the toes into the fingers, engaging all those muscles. Relaxing the toes, squeezing the fingers again. Relaxing the fingers and squeezing the toes. And then relaxing the toes. Spreading the fingers as wide as you can, and then spread your toes wide and see if you can keep those toes spread nice and wide as you remove your fingers. And then just release that. And we'll switch over to the other side. So kind of nice and slowly and mindfully. Being cross-legged feet can be a challenge on the knees for some people, so just really holding on to the knee as you move your foot up to the opposite leg or to the ground or to your block. With the opposite hand, slowly squeezing those fingers in between the toes, trying to work them in. And then squeezing the fingers into the toes, letting the foot relax as much as you can here. And relaxing the fingers, squeezing the toes into the fingers. And relaxing the toes, squeezing the fingers again, including that thumb. You can press your fingertips into the upper part of the foot, creating some space there, relaxing the fingers, squeezing the toes. See if you can lengthen your spine while you're doing this, lengthen your breath, and then relaxing the toes, spreading the fingers wide, creating space between the toes, spreading the toes, and then pulling the fingers out, trying to keep those toes spread, and then releasing that. Taking the block away, using your hands on your knees to bring the knees forward and then lengthening the legs out. If it's hard to sit up like this, you can pull the flesh away from the sit bones to help tilt the pelvis forward. Bring the hands by the hips, roll the shoulders, elbows are relaxed, and just gently pressing into the earth to keep the spine tall. Make sure your big toe mounds are pressing away from you and the pinky toe mounds are pulling back towards you so your feet are nice and flat. They tend to want to do this a little bit. So really pressing those big toe mounds away and keeping them pressed away as you just point and flex through the feet. Try to keep the big toes, especially at equal distance as you're pointing and flexing. Keeping the spine nice and tall. And then pointing the toes and coming into ankle circles, making nice big wide circles. Going nice and slow. You might find some flat spots in your circles, so try to go slower and smooth those flat spots out. And then going in the opposite direction. This is great for the ankles. It helps strengthen them and also remove any scar tissue, any cracking or popping that happens in the ankles, and makes them stronger and more stable. It also works into the calf muscles, the shin muscles. And then coming back to center and checking that those big toe mounds are pressing away. We're going to point the feet, flex the toes up, pull the feet back up, and pointing the toes up to the sky, and curling the toes. And try to curl the base of the foot up towards the toes as much as the toes are curling down towards the heel. Try to keep the toes curled as you point the feet. Then flip the feet up and flex the feet. Once more, curl, point, flip. This time we're going to pull our big toes back towards us and press the other toes away. And then switch that, Point the big toes away, pull the other toes back towards us. Switching again, pointing the toes away, pulling the big toes back up to the sky and maybe even back towards you. And then switching again, pointing the big toe away, the other toes back towards you. And then flexing the feet again, bending the knees, crossing one ankle over the other and just sliding the feet out to come back to seated. So that's a little bit of foot yoga to help your feet, give them a break at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day. It's great to do every day if you can think of it. And I hope you enjoyed it. And you can contact me for any other information. And namaste.